Yes, everybody, Russ on the West End Network. Hope you are all safe and well. If you're new in here, give it a like, give it a comment, give it a share, give it a subscribe. Tough getting up today, wasn't it? Tough getting up today with yesterday. Oh, Flo's gone back to school as well. Oh, dear. Tired. And even a West Ham victory yesterday would have helped. Would have helped lovely. But they got, the guys got what they deserved, in all honesty. They didn't get the week off. They got another week, and obviously a replay next Thursday, next Wednesday, Tuesday, Wednesday, something like that. They're still sort of deciding what ones they're going to take on the old TV. But yeah, and that really buggers up that week because obviously now we've got Sheffield United on the Saturday. So whatever game we play, if it's Tuesday or Wednesday, it's still 2-game week and. Oh dear. Anyway, it's clear. According, obviously, you would have seen Anton's video this morning. We know that Bowen and Paqueta are having scans on their injuries, but that's always what they do with these types of injuries. It's not like it's that bad. It's always a precautionary thing. But we'll hopefully get some more information about that in the next or today sometime. Hammer's headlines tonight. We're going to talk about some of the potential outs. We're going to talk about ins now, and also we're going to talk about at Hammer's headlines the potential for maybe some call-ups from the under-21 squad to counteract this sort of injury crisis we've got at the moment. It's weird because we've got players injured and players at the AFCONs, but we haven't got any games this week, so it's like. Anyway, let's see if we've got a chat, and then we'll go through some. Because it's only day 8 in the transfer window as well. Unbelievable, Jeff. Michael, good afternoon, West Ham family and Russ. Why am I part of the West Ham? Why am I singled out? We need players now to eliminate the dross games like Bristol City. Do you know what I was thinking about it, Michael? Myself and Anton and Nick from Clanton Booze and our lovely. One day I'm going to release our WhatsApp group because it's hilarious. Do you know, I was thinking about it. Usually, there was a time, and we spoke about it on match day morning, didn't we? Yesterday, we talked about the West Ham way and what is the West Ham way. When was the last time we played the West Ham way? And I think that's itself be a really interesting debate show to do. We might do it this week, maybe. But I remember under the old West, the West Ham way was always to lose against the likes of Bristol City. As I said, I remember losing. I remember taking Wrexham to a replay, wasn't it, Upton Park in '97, and losing, when Harry Red lost to Wrexham 1-0, and all these games, and Stockport County and Ian Dowie header and things like that. We haven't, I know the Blackburn game was a bit of a dross game. We got knocked out the penalties after, beating Man City in the League Cup a couple of years ago. I remember Kidderminster. We still won, but albeit it took Declan Rice wonder goal right at the end to score, and we're still in the hat tonight as well, and we're still 6th in the league and all that type of stuff. And it's just, I think sometimes, someone made a point on Twitter the other, or X, whatever we call it now. It'd be nice to just watch a game and enjoy a game and not have to have a political debate afterwards about it if we win or lose. And it seems every time we either win or we lose, it becomes a massive debate between the Moyes in, Moyes out brigade. And it's like, when did that start being a thing? Do you know what I mean? It's like, would we have had, if we had social media like during the Redknapp era, obviously, and various other Pardew era and Kirbishley and things like that, would we have to have a debate every time? It does seem that as soon as whatever side's won that week, whether it's we've won the game or lost the game, it's always then coincides with a massive debate, and it's a massive political argument about why this is exactly the type of thing we do. This is why we need Moyes out. Oh, this is exactly why we need to keep Moyes, and and you have people sort of trying to justify both opinions, and it's like, oh dear, I just want to watch a game and and then walk away and just carry on my life. And then using the 4 players who got butchered by, I think do you know what, Michael? I think I was saying yesterday to Anton, I think sometimes we miss someone like Craig Dawson on our side, because Bristol City just came and did a number on us, and we should properly just go for it. Do you know what I mean? And I think, yeah, I mean, VAR was in. I saw your thing. I was watching the thing, but VAR was in play, obviously, and they did look at all of those. But I just think I don't know. They just came and did a number on us, really. I wouldn't say butchered. I think Paqueta's was always going to. Paqueta clearly wasn't 100%, despite the fact everyone thought it was 100%. Bowen at the end got taken down. But I wouldn't say it was a nasty challenge. The Mavropanos ones could be seen as nasty, definitely. And ironically, Conway ended up scoring the goal. And I thought Pring did a job on Soufal and wound him up. And I think sometimes we're a bit too protective of our own. And actually, we should be the ones being the we should be a bit nasty at times. We're too nice at the moment. I think on my side, I want a bit of nastiness. Do you know what I mean? I want us to be. Do you know? And the best person we could have had, back in the day, it was on the bench, and that's Kevin Nolan. He was a nasty player, but he'd put it about a bit, and he'd do it. We're too lightweight, I think, sometimes, particularly our forward line yesterday. We're not nasty enough, and I'd like us to be a bit more nasty. I'm a Julian Dix commanding that left back position, albeit he couldn't do it properly now because he'd get sent off every other game. But do you know what I mean? Just like being a bit tougher. I just think we're a bit lightweight, and it's a shame Antonio, obviously, recurrence of his injury, because he can be a bit nasty when he wants to and just bully people around. And that's what we need to do. We could have bullied them lot. They're all smaller than us lot, but we let them bully us. Love a bit of entertainment while eating my pie 2 and 2. What we eating, Tobes? What we eating? Rani, what about you? Anton's in the chat. Nice to see. From AFCON, injuries and bugs plus rubbish squads. I write off the FA Cup now. Do you know what, John? I think whoever we draw tonight, whoever our tie draws tonight, will make a big impact on, I think, what happens next week. If, for example, this is just me thinking out loud, if we get drawn against Liverpool at Anfield, for example, then I could quite see us putting a scratch side out on the replay and then concentrating on the Saturday game. If we get Wrexham, then Moyes will want to win that game, because for business sense, it makes sense, because then you're playing Wrexham. You've got all the eyes on the club. You've got all the stuff, So I think it's going to depend on who we get, or even we get a lower league side. I think we'll probably try and not try. It sounds awful, but I think that's their mentality, I think, at the moment. So that's just my perception. I could see us throwing the cup and concentrating on the league in Europe. Good afternoon, all. Good afternoon. The injuries we could do, poor run, Alan Newcastle we could do. All T's hammers up you well. Alex, nice to see you. Has everyone called off yet? Indeed. Do you know what I mean? Though it's like every game, there has to be some massive political debate afterwards in the chat, rather than just saying we played really shit today. We put out. I thought and I was saying to Luke yesterday, he sort of said, "Oh, I don't think you were right in terms of saying you put the wrong." I thought we had a go. We put the strongest side out to try and do it. Paqueta injury derailed us, and that's not good. We shouldn't be, but we are. We're basically a 3-man team, aren't we? Really, in all honesty, in terms of Paqueta, Bowen, and Kudus, and we've only got one of them on the pitch then, and we looked totally. And it was almost like Bowen almost took it on himself to try and win the game single-handedly. I think he overran the ball quite a bit, and I think then we bring Obama, and bless him, he was sort of played in the central areas, did okay then went onto the right-hand side, and several times he should have laid off to Ben Johnson, but he wanted to cut inside, and then he got a lot of criticism. I think that was right. It's not his fault. He was played out on the right hand side. We know he's a striker. We know that's his preferred position. And yeah, I just thought, ironically, I thought it's probably what's his face. What's his name? Fornals. Is it snowing? Oh, it's snowing. Oh, in Hornchurch. I thought it was Fornals' best game this season for us. I thought he played all right. He's got to be throwing. He's got to be throwing. I was shocked how strong. We were in the quarterfinals and put out much weaker. It's because we had. Also, because you had we haven't got a game for 2 weeks. So actually, it was an opportunity to play the strongest side, I think, as well, Tobe. I think if we had a midweek game, or if we had a midweek game, then I think we might have seen a few less. Personally, I didn't think we needed to play Zuma. I thought we had enough there. I thought we didn't need to play Paqueta either, but we did. And I thought we was going to just Yeah, and I thought we'd steamroller them, to be honest. First 20 minutes, we were really good. And then Paqueta gets a knock, and we just seemed to go like, what do we do now? It was almost like that was the game plan. Give it to Paqueta and win the game via him, which is not the best way to have, in terms of, we don't necessarily. You see some clubs, they have 4 or 5 players all on 8 or 9 goals, or 10 goals, which we've got Bowen on 30 or 14 goals now. Kudus is on 10. I think Souček's on about 8, and pretty much, and Paqueta's got a few as well. But then, Kudus is, then you got like JOP hasn't got a lot of. So once 1 or 2 are out, that really makes a massive difference to us. And we do need reinforcements. We do need reinforcements. And I think we'll hopefully see some movement in and out in the next sort of 2 weeks, pretty much, I reckon now. Bristol City remind of a dirty Leeds side. Maybe. Ruster pretends the head of the family, head of the table. I like that. It's never acceptable to throw any game. You're totally right, usual suspect. We're in the replay bad day office, I think. I think so. I think yes. And I think, Bristol always going to come in for it. And as much as, and if Moyes gets it wrong, so if Moyes put out a weakened side, and we had that result yesterday, I would have said Moyes put out a weakened side. He didn't respect the opposition enough. But he put out the strongest possible side. And I think the players on the pitch got bullied. Got bullied by a side who were younger than them, who wanted it more, who were fitter than them. Maybe not fitter, but yeah, probably actually, yeah, fitter than them. And we got bullied. Which is ridiculous, by got a bit bullied by a younger team. We could have easily taken that side. And I think if you'd got a second goal, I think the heads would have dropped, and I think you'd have seen 3 or 4. Genuinely, I think if Pablo Fornals had not put it in the one place the goalkeeper saw, like his hand, literally the goalkeeper had no idea in the first half where that shot was going. It hit him just in the hand. Anywhere the other side, we'd have been 2-0 up, and I think it would have been game over. Personally, but hey ho, if my auntie had bollocks to be my uncle. Without Bowen, no goals, totally right. Papa Surf, good. Good afternoon to you. Everyone enjoys a mass debate. We certainly do. Social media and VAR enhance it old days. Go down the pub, moan a bit more. You're totally right, my friend. Get your 10p on Brenton Diaz to score. We play Sheffield United. Controversial, but I wouldn't mind going out to the cup to help consolidate top 6. I think that's where people are going now, Richard. I think if we'd gone through, great in the hat. I think now that with the replay, people are going, do you know what? As much as we love the cup game, it doesn't much we want an FA Cup run. I think from a season perspective, I think solidifying that top 8 position is critical. We do get more money for that. We do get European football for that. And it increases the profile of the club as well. So does the FA Cup final, honestly. But I think from a money perspective, a business perspective, I can see why people have taken that perception. And there might be more of a younger attitude compared to an older attitude, maybe. When people talk about, we spoke about the West Ham way, and what is the West Ham way? Is it yo-yoing from division to division and playing good football, but yo-yoing from division to division? Because I don't think you can do that nowadays now. But anyway, I was there. We lost at Torquay. Exactly, Torquay. Oldham. Was it Valentine's Day in Oldham? Good or bad? That means the gaffer is diversive. His comments don't help matters. Apart from his comment about Danny Ings, you see the Talk Sport one, and he just kept on saying so. And then basically the journalist said, "And so is Danny Ings leaving?" He goes, "I thought he played very well, but is he leaving in this? Is he going to Wolves? I thought he played very well." So non-committal. Absolutely loved it. Absolutely loved it. Was Alba's booking mouthing off to the ref? No, I think it was because it was. Sort of apparently it was not the afterwards, but he got taken down, didn't he? And he sort of bundled over, and I think it was a bit of a light yellow card, to be honest. He sort of bundled over that player who'd already found him. Bring back Repka. God dear. Is he just? Is it 50? Is it? He's become. Yeah, his 50th birthday something like that recently. We've had 8 years. Is debate. No difference on the Sam really. Totally right. It's just obviously social media. It gets played out in there. Recently going to Oxford in the Cup was an experience. Don't think some realize where we are, what we have now. Indeed. And the ironic thing is, I said some talk about the Arsenal side, and there was like, oh, how can people say, Arteta out? And I think when you're on the outside pissing in rather than the inside pissing out, you don't see the wider picture. And there is a lot of Arsenal fans who aren't happy about Arteta at the moment. They've picked up 1 point in 12, and they've been knocked out of the FA Cup by Liverpool at home. Their first time they've lost in the cup for 20, 30 at home, 20, 30 games, something like that. Whereas we got 10 points in 12 and we're still in the cup. I think sometimes you got sort of perspectives, but so that's why I can see when people get, you say, I think Jess Stelling on Talk Sports Day was sort of calling out a West Ham fan who was moaning about David Moyes, and it's like, I think you see it and you go, how can you criticize? How can you say Arteta out? How can you say that? Look where you are in the league, and people say the same thing to us. Look where we are in the league, and look what we're doing. And I think sometimes you need to sort of have a balance, don't you? I miss Upton Park. I do, and I don't sometimes. I'll be honest, I don't sometimes. It was falling apart, bless it, and sometimes. If that district line or central or district line was down at Upton Park, that long trudge back to Barking, pissing down the rain. That idiot that took out Mav should have got sent off. No, he should have. Should have got a booking, I reckon. At least have a laugh at the game, even a shit game like that. Indeed, you did, but I don't think so. Sometimes, Alex, I think we had the right. Even I remember some horrible games at Upton Park as well. I think again, it's like nostalgia brings a certain memory and invoke, but you forget things. So like in 10 years time, we'll remember beating Arsenal, we'll remember this game, this season we'll be beating Arsenal and we won't remember drawing 0-0 with Brighton, at London Stadium. And I think you forget certain things and the highlights. You remember the highlights of the season. Double pie and single mash. I've got some graph today. Only single mash. Annoys when people get booked for mouthing off. I totally agree. Loved Repka me too. Bring back Repka. Bring back John Pansel, bless him. The man, if you go and watch our interview with John Pansel, I think he assumed he was like a West Ham legend because I think the way he spoke about himself was amazing. Afternoon Artel, you would think we were a rugby team, as we always say, we tried very good. I'm wound up after every game with Moyes in charge. I think, Gary, even when you get a new manager and you're still going to be wound up with certain games. I guarantee Harry Redknapp round you up with some games. I guarantee Slaven Bilic round you up with some games. I think it's just whoever's in charge will get wound up. Darren, good evening. Hope you're well. Good afternoon. Must be positive thought pass away. Oh, it was sublime pass. I'd throw Alves in that mix, Russ, with our midfield is like the Red Sea. Yeah, and as soon as he goes off, we just look so weak in midfield. So weak. Before my time, but legend Billy Bonds. Prop us knowing Billy Ricky, but you got your 2 and 1, so you're okay. I thought I saw some flakes. There's definitely there is a dusting of not even a dusting. It is swirling light snow in Hornchurch. People saying we look forward to Freddie Potts, but we know he won't get many games of the Moyes if he stays. Doing really well. I think Freddie. I think Freddie still needs probably another season. I'll be honest. I think because I think that's going to help him massively, and he's having a great time at Wickham. Obviously, he's been injured, but he came back. People don't forget Ludo. He just cleared everything. Cleared everything. Ball players. Don't forget also. He was Loopy Ludo sometimes as well. Everyone's talking to each other. Steve Lomas definitely. The way Premier League refed, it's like a non-contact sport. I totally agree. 3-man team is kind of the point. It's kind of hard not to have an argument against Moyes when it seems like he doesn't develop half the team and doesn't integrate our young ones. The young ones I never really understand. I'll be honest, Jonathan, because as I said, I've gone through the stats and I've gone through stuff, and actually it's epidemic of the Premier League and the way football is set up now compared to 10 years ago, 20 years ago, when you had the reserve leagues and players were coming through that way. It's different now. It is different now. But I think there are some clubs which still have a one or two. So like people talk like Crystal Palace, I think they've got one. Well, technically two with Nathaniel Klein, the last home game they played, but he'd gone around the houses and stuff. So I get that. Develop half our team. I think 1 to 11 we've got a very good squad, very good side, and I think I think defensively we're suspect, and we have been suspect for a while. My freezer moves quicker than Zoom. I think it's hard for the fan base to blame our team when they don't get a shot, but they do, Jonathan. I think you don't tell me that side yesterday should have easily beaten Bristol City. That side should have beaten Bristol City yesterday. on paper, and as Brian Clough says, football's never won on paper. But when you saw the team sheet, you thought, right, here we go, we got a good side. We got a good start, and we're gonna do them, and we didn't. And for much as there is a bandwagon for against Moyes, I can't blame Moyes for the players on the pitch. I'm not going to say, he told he told Alvarez to give the ball away 20 times yesterday. He told Bowen to overrun it 20 times. He told, Oggy to go ball watching and miss Conway running in. Of course he didn't. But there has to be some responsibility from the players themselves, and as always happens, is as soon as the team start underperforming, the manager gets dug out. Same as Arsenal, you can't say that they've got Odegaard, they've got Declan Rice, they've got some amazing players. They got Saka. Saka is a shadow of himself. Don't tell me that Arteta has told Saka to be shit yesterday and get overrun by Liverpool. It's just sometimes we always blame the manager. And I think it's almost like the stock answer. It's almost like when you're replying to a text message, it's automatically set up Moyes out. But actually, I think the players need to take a lot more responsibility. And we are still fucking sixth in the league. Do you know what I mean? Anyway, they were kicking the hell out of our players, and ref allowed it. Gives us nothing. We'll kick them back, innit? Mark Pembleton, hope you're well. Look, loss of that Pac-Man. I agree, totally. And if you're not going to have Pac-Man there, you have Ben Rama there, because I think then there's still some sort of disparity there. Scored a manager, he did. They're keeping 3 world-class saves. We know what to expect from the replay. Research is done now, so no excuses. That's the second time around. If we put out a good side, right, let's go through it. Then we'll do some rumours. Southampton move looks off. Any move for Danny Ings at the moment is been they put a pin in it at the moment. Wolves, Burnley, Southampton, because of waiting to see what basically Mikel Antonio's diagnosis looks like, and Bowen as well. So he's not going yet. It's not saying he won't go, but he's not going yet. Can see it in 7. Still no players in. I'm not interested in the FA Cup run, especially if Moyes treats it the same way as the Carabao. Good shouts. Arteta spent 200 and made them worse. The thing is that if they played the Moyes style, would have such a success in the under 18s. It would be 18s. Good point. Old days, we went to the pub, moaned about the ref, then got on with it following week. Yeah, and I think we do, but it's social media now, and everything sort of stays on Twitter, doesn't it? You get things referred to. Was the same. Quiet for the lesser teams. The atmosphere this season has been terrible. But as I said, Darren, I've always said it takes 2 for an atmosphere, and I think the fans were up for it. There was a good atmosphere at kickoff, albeit there was a massive feedback from Bubbles. But yeah, that was sorted pretty sharpish. But and after the first 20 minutes, it was all right. And then when we start coming into ourselves a little bit, and we let the opposition start, or the opposition started to play, then the atmosphere goes quiet, and it does. And you will get that. I mean, yesterday we had a sellout, but obviously there's a lot of kids because it was a cheat. There was a lot of kids going to their first game, so they'll be really excited for the first bit. And if the players aren't delivering on the pitch, they're going to get bored, and they will, because they're kids and they want a hot dog, and that's what you're always going to be sort of marrying. Whereas you had 9,000 Bristolians who were all scrumpied up to the max. It was brilliant. Still annoyed they've only given us, that's all they can give us, Josh. And that's basically the one stand. So they've only got their capacity. We only have to give them 15% in it. And Ashton Gate is about 20,000 in it, which is right. Ashton Gate is 27,000. So yeah, it's about right, about 15% in it. So, and it is one. I was talking to Ben the other day, last night, from Robin's on tour. He's very happy, obviously, because his prediction was right, 1-0, and they reckon they're going to take us at Ashton Gate. So that's one stand. It's hard to be perspective. Our league positions does not reflect how we played. We have shit hours wins. Don't you remember 1-0 to the Arsenal? Arsenal won a whole league by doing 1-0 to the Arsenal, didn't they? So it's, unfortunately, it is, in the same way we have beaten Man United, we have beaten Chelsea, we have beaten Spurs. We've beaten good sides as well. They certainly do, but Moyes is still here. That will never happen. How much longer can we carry on with Souček? Well, they love Souček, don't they? So it doesn't matter what happens. Souček's staying for a while, isn't he? He's signed a new contract, isn't it? I can see why no kids, they have their game. They do, but we didn't need them. I mean, the squad should be good enough. On the bright side, it's 30 degrees, unbelievable. Moyes and Steiden stays and Moyes leaves, or both stay. Which one? They both stay, I think, in all honesty. I was talking to Chris, a disabled fan who might be watching, because he says we're the only channel he's allowed to watch because we're not because we're still a little bit positive. And he was saying it's much more. And I think if Moyes stays, it's based on him having to relinquish control of the transfer market, of the transfer dealings to Stein and taking on a head coach role. And that's up to him, because if he wants to do that, great. If he doesn't want to do that, then he won't sign a new deal, because otherwise there's no point having Tim Stein. And I think looking about it, you see I think the relationship between Moyes and Steiten's got a lot better, because, you see the guys he brought in, the likes of Kudus and Alvarez and Mavropanos. These are all very good signings, and they're signings who have made a massive impact, particularly Kudus and Alvarez, to the side. And I think Moyes has sort of said, he does know what he's talking about, type thing. And I think there has been a relinquish of power there. It's not saying he doesn't get involved in it, because he needs to, because the head coach or the man does need to know about and talk about the signings and the incomings. But I just don't think, I think he has relinquished. He will have to relinquish if it's for his new deal, if it happens. Start second half like they had been sedated. Shot, yes, but consistent game time. No, the second team doesn't seem to have the consistent integration with the first team. But a lot of them played a lot of the European games as well, Jonathan. So it's not like they haven't had any game time. They probably have the same as a lot of the first teamers, because they're playing. Well, we were playing they were playing Thursday. Then the Premier League side were playing on the Sunday. So they have. The Buck always stops the manager, doesn't it? Important time of season. His tactics were poor. We sat back, gave teams to come at us. Yeah, because I can't blame it all on Moyes. I agree. You got caught ball watching. I agree. I'm sure he's met just a little game to see what Russ would choose. I think the big point is that we had no one to fill the spots we needed to fill. Like Earthy, they could have made a difference. Could they have, though, Barry? I don't know if they could. Maybe, they could have. They could have. We thought Divine was going to make a difference, but he didn't. And then the narrative comes out, we've got to give them, you can't expect them just to come on and hit the ground running. Well, in that respect, Barry, you think we're going to make it? That's what I want. I want game changes. I want some differences on the bench. I don't just want to bring on Ben Rama for 4 nails. That to me doesn't help. I don't want to bring on Granny for, a striker. I want some proper game changers, someone who can change the game. Doesn't have to start, but when they come on, they make an impact. Like we want with Antonio, like we want maybe with some of the people we linked to today. I might even get through and start talking about them in a minute. We're not going to do player ratings today, because do you know what? It's like, it wasn't a great game. It wasn't a great game. And I think probably my man of the match, probably Pablo Fornals, in all honesty. I thought he had a really good game. Well, probably his best game he's had for us so far. For everyone else, Soufal, got bullied by a young left back. I thought Fabianski, okay, didn't flap or anything, had an okay game. Mavropanos looked a bit, no, Mavropanos, who do I want? Because he got injured quite early on. Oggy, ball watching, don't want to offer him a new contract. Zuma didn't look great. It was a bit commanding, but, again, just too slow. We look so slow with Zuma and Igbona together. Emerson looked lost, I agree, without Paqueta coming on. And, JWP, game. Alvarez, game. They could have easily bullied that side. It was freezing. Couldn't feel my face. The stand holds more than 20. No, it doesn't. Their capacity is 27,000, Josh. So there we go. According to Wikipedia, even away games, they're crap than they're singing in the concourses anymore. Can't see us beating Bristol at their graph. I can't, to be honest. Loved one West Ham channel moaning Moyes is causing divide. Do they fail to see they are the side pushing a narrative and causing what they couldn't make it up? There we go. Hope the replays on it. It probably will be. Looking at the replays, probably will be, because I think it's going to be a good game. bench players aren't good enough. I agree. But that's because of the way they mismanage. I get that. I understand that. But they do get minutes. As I said, last year, before now, has got play 50 games for us. And it's all about motivation. And if they're a squad player, again, I just, yeah, okay, I understand. Yeah, I understand that. I just think, doesn't matter what you are. If you're, I don't know, stacking shelves, or if you're sweeping the road, or whatever. You want to do a good job. Same with my job. I want to do a good job. I don't want to half-arse it. And I think sometimes our players, a lot of them, want to half-arse it. And I don't think there's anyone on the pitch who'll drag them by the scruff of their neck and say, sort your fucking self out. I think we've got a very nice bunch of lads, and they're all very nice, but I haven't got anyone nasty. I don't want, and we did, we haven't got a Julian Dix, or, a Billy Bonds, or, even Deck. I mean, Deck, he would get him, he'd drag people up, or Nobes on the pitch would, like, come on, drag players off the pitch if they're injured or whatever. That's what we've missed. And that's what I want. I want someone we can, as fans, still like. We've got not one of our own, but we've got someone on the pitch. And Alvarez, I just think he's got that, but maybe, don't know. I just don't think Zuma's the right captain. I'll be honest. Right. Have they come? No. Not officially yet. I think it's either Tuesday or Wednesday next week. I think. Bristol got it tactically right, indeed. On the halfway for the game, within 5 seats, we were about 20 views of the game. And who was playing well or badly. You can choose your friends, but you can't choose your family. Very true. Is there any truth in the KPI should remain in charge? No. No. I mean, basically, he'll be offered I'm sure there'll be a discussion in the summer, and he may well be offered a new deal. But there will be parameters for that, won't he? Surely, in terms of the role, and it's not going to be exact like for like now. That's for sure. Going to struggle getting good for money. I don't think we will get good money for players we sell. I think they're all past it. I think we're relying on players. The only one I thought we'd have, the two people I thought would get decent money out, who I'd see are likely to go, with Ben Ram and Kieran. One of them's going out on loan. So only got £500,000 for him now. Obviously, we'll get 10 million or whatever it is in the summer, if he obviously played yesterday as well. So balance midfield was all wrong yesterday. Yeah, you're right. As soon as Alvarez went off, that was it. Yeah. Do you think Alex Ferguson said that when he started young in his no, he didn't make it because gave him the chance? Feel like a lot of players give them the chance, make them feel like a player they want and respect. That's that. I mean, Rooney's Rooney, isn't he? And I think that's the trouble. It's like we go, okay, what about this one? Yeah, okay, that's probably the exception to the rule. In the same way that we play Sonny Perkins, and Sonny Perkins was going to be the next big thing, and everyone's like, fucking hell, this guy's brilliant. Then we let him go to Leeds, and then Leeds have let him go on to Oxford. They've sent him back because he hasn't scored for them and didn't play. Same as Grady Dean Garner. We're like, oh my god, this guy's. How can we sell this guy at £19 million? Did fuck all since we signed it, since he's left. He scored the other day, but that's it. Start Cornet we won't do. Always annoying is that Kira is a natural centre back, and because Moyes kept playing left back, we have no backup in centre. Another shot move there. Start and Barman give the lads some service instead of feeding off scraps. But the thing is, the way we play that forward position does feed off scraps. It does, and unfortunately, it's not like, oh, just ping it into him. He does, Antonio, to all his credit, did feed off scraps. The trouble is, when he did have the opportunity and he fluffed it, he knows he's not going to get another one. That's the trouble. ITK on these are about saying Max 2 incoming, 1 on loan. Will depend on the team getting the deals over the line if true. Yeah, I agree with that. His tactical awareness is terrible. Nathan Holland was supposed to be good, indeed. We pay our hard money to be entertained, supporting our team to watch, and win matches, not subs, not to lose. Where all the corners we had, none were getting the heads on them. Indeed, yeah, it was a weird one. The thing is, Bristol City themselves are a good set piece side. They got Rob Dickey, guy we were linked with, 6'4", big lads. So we couldn't really intimidate them like that. So again, there's no plan B. There's never been no plan B. Easy answer: get rid of Moyes. And then what's the next question? Next question, Spencer, is then what? Then what? That's the issue. I think I've seen everyone go, yep, Moyes out. Okay, well then what happens? We put Johnny Heitinga in. Johnny Heitinga, he's had experience at Ajax. Yeah, he has, but no Premier League experience. What if that goes to shit? Then what? Then we get a firefighter in, and then we get the same situation. Graham Potter, no one's picked up on Potter, but then there's been so many sides. Forest, there's been a lot of sides who have since changed manager, and I haven't heard him linked with any of them. Any of them. If he was that good, he would have been on every. If he's that sought after, there, he would have been on every shortlist. But as soon as like the Forest one, Nuno Espirito Santos. Oh no, we're going to get this other guy. There was nothing for Potter, and that's what I don't understand. He still hasn't had a job since he's been sacked from Chelsea. Moyes' comments on Cornet were mere. He had injuries. The players in front of him. Yes, that was perfect choice. Michael Cornet has got no legs. He had to put him on yesterday, and we won't sell him. He'll be. I think he'll be gone in the summer. But we can't sell him because as soon as they look at his legs and look at his fitness in his medical reports, he won't go. These players are supposed to be professionals, regardless of Moyes' management of how they're treated. However, it's clear people want to leave, and it reflects on their performance. Yeah, great shout. We tried to have a manager pedigree, it didn't work. I believe Potter is waiting for the England job. Bring back Harry. Yeah, that's going to work. Yeah, that's going to work. Yeah, you can imagine Harry Redknapp working with bloody what's his face. We'll end up with Brian Potter. Very good. The new manager will need 2 to 3 to make a difference. Not going to happen overnight. I agree. What would new manager requirements be? Tactical flexibility, progressive, and sexy accent, and dresses nicely. Can dress nicely on the touchline. Thought Moyes looked a bit, yeah. You can tell when Pep's turning up because Moyes puts on a jacket and a jumper underneath. Do you know what I mean? Divine needs to go alone. He isn't strong enough yet. I agree, but I don't think he's going out alone at the time being. Anyway, let's talk about some transfers, shall we? 37 minutes in. Anyway, let's in terms of some of the latest stuff. Obviously, we spoke about Steven Bergwijn on Saturday when Fabrizio Romano said he was one of our top targets. Apparently, according to some sources, and some other sources say he's not. Florian Pettenberg from Sky Sports Germany says that the Eredivisie striker, the winger, is not interested in the Premier League side. So why the fuck he's got involved? I don't know, because he's Sky Sports Germany. Anyway, some sources have said we've apparently open talks. And he is very keen, but they're a long way off. We're discussing permanence or loan moves as we look to land another reinforcement. He had a cracking time at Ajax when Kudus was playing. The 26-year-old moved from Spurs to Ajax for almost 26 million pounds, 3.5 years remaining in his current deal. He's moved to Spurs, didn't manage the heights he wanted to. 8 goals and 10 assists in 83 appearances. However, since back in the Eredivisie, he's notched up 24 goals and 9 assists in 65 outings. So 1 in 2, basically, goal involvements. Again, he can play across all the front line positions and already has played with Alvarez and Kudus. So could it be a hat trick of potential Ajax players back in the side? Obviously, Johnny Heitinga there as well. Russy B, I've given it a 6 out of 10. I've given it a 6 out of 10 because I could see it working, and I think it would be 1 in, 1 out. It may be a Ben Rama to go for 20-ish million, 25 million, something, because you will get him, and he will go for that, and then bringing in Bergwijn. He will be expensive. Will turn into West Ham. Damn, very good. Not going to happen until summer. We are broke. An FFP Broadline. Borderline, we're not too shabby, Alonso. We're okay for. And don't forget, it's on. And with FFP, in terms of profit and stuff like that, this year we'll have, obviously, having won the conference, that money will go into this year's. Plus, also go listen to more than just a podcast. Yesterday, last week, Kieran Maguire was on there, and it was it was a really good show actually. But also, we'll have a lot more to spend as well because Europa League, you get a lot more money in the Conference League, for example. No thanks, don't want him. Who do you want though, Darren? Let me know. Yeah, Heggy's gone on loan to Bosch. It's done dirty by Spurs. Thinks he's a decent player. Good shout. Bring back Harry until the end of the season. Not going to happen. Antonio Matford and Grace just gone off injured. Indeed, Grace, we're not gonna spend any money on him. I don't think. A few championship sides. Indeed, we're talking about that. Hammers headlines. Sheffield Wednesday, one of the major ones. Who's next? Jack Clark. Speaking of another ex-Spurs player, according to the Daily Mirror, West Ham are now keen to sign Jack Clark from Sunderland in the January transfer window. 23-year-old has had a great season in the Championship so far for the Black Cats after a failed spell for Tottenham when he was at Leeds, moved to Spurs then. Apparently, he's 23. He's 12 goals, 2 assists in 26 games for Sunderland. He's English, so homegrown. Very technically very good. Hasn't got the pace. Reminds me of a bit like Jack Harrison. He's technically very good, but hasn't got the blistering pace to run past people. But it could be a cheaper option. Than someone like Bergwijn, for example, because he's going to be cheaper. Apparently, he's gone off it. Yeah, he did. And Dia. And to be honest, I don't think has Kudus gone out yet. I don't even think Kudus has gone out yet. Get Moyes to talk to Neil Warnock. There we go. See an interview. He said the most important is band management. Why are we going for Spurs rejects? I don't know. We have 31 to spend at the moment. 20 last season, 11. Yes, we can spend that money. It's guaranteed, so we can use it against future purchases. The Tilo one's not guaranteed though. It's not guaranteed. It's based on requirements, but because we paid Barclays another 1.8 million to release the 30 the next payment of the Declan Rice money early because we know that was due to come in. So that's our transfer done. Bosch, indeed, electrical goods. Maybe on loan would be nice. Not for Jack Clark. No, you have to pay the money. Don't think Clark was that good against the Zebras. He wasn't, but then neither was Barlard, and we were looking at him as well, wasn't it? In terms of the centre half. I can see 5 out of 10. It's sort of, I just don't see it. I think it's the pace thing for me. But the homegrown is an interesting thing to look at. Who is next? Next, we have a bit of an update on Max Kilman. Now, we know that he's one that Moyes is interested in. Whether Steinton's interested in him is another question. Obviously, left-sided centre-half, so, does fit the profile. He's 6'4", big lads. Gives me a sort of a younger, a bit of the old Dawson vibes, in terms of the type of person he is. He's not going to come cheap, but Gary O'Neill hasn't ruled out a move for him out of Wolves, but they valued him at about 40 million quid, according to The Guardian. We would have to sell to bring him in, and it would mean probably selling a Gerd, which, whether you see it would be a Gerd out and Kilman in. They are interested in Ben Rama, apparently, Wolves are, and obviously there was a Danny Ings interest, but that the latter on loan. But as I said, there's been a pin putting all sort of outs for the forward players. Could he be the missing piece of the puzzle to the back line in terms of the way that Moyes plays? He's certainly more used to playing in a Moyes type football than maybe a Gerd, for example. Gary O'Neill plays a very pragmatic style of football, very akin to how Moyes plays it. And so it could be, but it's going to be a chain reaction. I don't want us to sell a Gerd, but he has a price tag in his head. Not saying the club are willing to let him go, but if someone makes the 30 million price tag, then possibly. What we got here? Wan-Bissaka could be good. Can't see. He's just on a new deal at Man United, isn't he? Barlow was a donkey with the own goal. He was. Sell again and get Kilman in. That's the basic idea. We'll be looking at defenders. They want 40 million. Need to offload to game. We certainly would do. Hopefully Benny soon due to him not playing. Again, we'll probably wait and see what happens. Again, I can't see him leaving just yet if Paqueta's out for a prolonged period of time. Swap him for him. Oh, eat simple, isn't it, Barry? That's the trouble. It's like it's not that simple. If you say, right, Max Kilman, we'll give you Chris for innings. Oh, yeah, all right then. They'll tell us to take a running jump, wouldn't they? What I can see happening is our youth graduating to our Austrian team off 2 months rather than loan deals. Yeah, let's bring our what's his face over. What's his face? The guy we bought, the Scottish midfielder. Where's he gone? Better in the back three, look less impressive in the back four. Good deal for us. Plus playing, it would be, but it won't happen. Give them Cress, Ings, and Benny for Kilman. Yeah, could do. I'll be happy to see happen. Wages lower. Crap players gone. Back three in replay. Cresswell, Areola, fair play. Ings, I'll take a pint and a packet of peanuts. Give the wages. Yep. Could go for more than 30 if they're into a race. I don't think we lose or we lose. What are we doing? We're losing or bringing them in. Sell the entire team except Caduce, Bone, and Pac-Man, says Darren. There we go. I'll give it 6 out of 10 because I can see there's lots of things I can see as tick boxes for the player. I don't know if it will buy anyone. Thank you, Chris. So I can see that one happening. But that's the latest we've got at the moment. I'm sure more is going to come out in the next few days based on the outcome of the scans. Right, let's talk about Ronnie Edwards. Essex born. We were linked to him last year. The League One centre half, Peterborough. And apparently we are looking at probably set to put another bid in for him this year. But we face challenges from other Premier League clubs. The fact when obviously Mavropanos went off injured yesterday could be that we consider several centre halves by the looks of it. With only injury prone Zuma and the 35-year-old Ogbonna, who falls asleep and lets people run past him, left standing. So it could mean obviously we know that defenders are the main target for us at the moment. He's 20. He's been impressed. I mean, he's very impressive centre half. The only concern, I mean, he's homegrown, which is great. Born in Arlo, I think, so only down the road. And we do face a lot of others. The likes of Villa and Palace are also expected to be interested in him as well. The slight fly in the ointment and why he might not just necessarily fit the profile is he's not overt. I can't speak, so I'm a midget, but he's 5'10", so he's not the tallest. Very similar in height to Martinez. Is it Martinez? Lisandro Martinez at Man United. So there is a lack of aerial presence, which could mean that Moyes might favour other options. I mean, Matt Skill, for example, 6'4". You know, he's several inches higher than him. And as you all know, gentlemen, it's all about the inches that count. Also, he's got no experience, obviously, playing at the high level. He's 20. It would be a calculated risk, maybe signing him, but it would be relatively cheap. So I think it would be good. And again, homegrown as well and young as well. So what we got here, like the lad, only bringing players with our 10 players. If Moy asks, it's a big no. How many shirts does Ings? I'd love to know how many Ings shirts. We may get a loan or two. We have 2 spaces in the squad, but like now we do. Palace have had 3 bids. Sully Inquiry was put off when he was asked about the money, but that was in the summer, wasn't it? I think that was in the summer, so we might go back in. I watched Edwards the other day. He reminded me of Rice, but a centre half. He's 20. He won't play him. Bench on 23s for him. Our squad was only 24 registered to start. It would be a lot cheaper. Certainly would be. He probably about three Ronnie Edwards for that. Yeah, I think he would be. I think his potential as well. You get into 10 million is not bad. He has a knack for very progressive that release our forwards. That's true. And so in some respects, it's Mavropanos. So when you have Oggy and Zuma both playing, you just don't have anyone pushing it forward. You literally have no one, and it was just in essence two blockers. Well, it could be up to 4 weeks. We've been told. It could be up to 6 weeks, really. Not technically true. Lingard has offered himself to Barcelona. Barcelona have. So Lingard has literally offered himself to Barcelona. I could offer myself to Barcelona, but I wouldn't get signed. So Ronnie, I reckon 6 out of 10. As you said, cheaper option. And could be a good stopgap for us. And then obviously develop as and when our full centre half lines get back from injury. Let's talk about Hugo. Now, several sources, several media outlets are reporting our interest in him, which we know. Newcastle as well, Fulham, Crystal Palace, Wolves are also keen on him. Eintracht Frankfurt are also, who tried to get him in the summer. They also have shown interest this summer, this month before moving for Wolves is Sasa Scalaccia. Again, they got another player we were linked with. We've been told that news outlets have been mentioned that he wants to move to England. Paris Saint-Germain are conferring he can leave on loan, and just want to get this one over the line. He's coming to the low. He's coming on a loan spell if he does come. So if everything goes south, then he'll be able to get back to Paris. But if he works his magic, then he could push on for the future. Either way, we need some much needed pace, something different. We're talking about people who make a difference. He don't have to start for us, but he could be on the bench and just come on and make a big difference, in my opinion. So yeah. What we got to say? Off of the Connor commentary plus 5 minutes forever. It's just a great show, actually. We've believed with him at Rennes, indeed. Another player will destroy. Hugo is very, very likely. I think he's probably our most likely, just in terms, it just fits the profile of what we want, to be honest. What we got here? Anyone else felt seasons falling apart? Ladders, cheer out. We're sixth. Enjoy it while you can. Remember that again is often having to cover fish slower. He is. And when Aguirre's had his, I was reading an article about his countless mistakes. The main mistakes he makes is when he has to play right side of a back two. Again, he's got a Bon on the left hand side. So I think that's always been an issue with him. Did again have his head turned last summer. The money he could make would tempt the best of men, or they basically do like a Jordan Henderson, go 6 months and then go, right, I want to go home now. Did we give Antonio contract? Yes, we have, but it hasn't been announced by the club. We need players we can sell on for profit, not the old timers. And I think we've got so many old timers now. I like him again, Dino, fast and progressive. Yep, I totally agree. Is a left wing hugger, mostly good fit for our front line move pack. That's my idea, Michael. And you can throw him up front and you can leave him on the bench and bring on Paqueta. And I'd probably personally prefer Hugo to come on than Ben Rama to come on. That's me. Take him for the Euro goal and headline Victor Hugo. Very good. Bergwijn over Ekitike all day. But if it's Ekitike on the loan and Bergwijn for 26 million quid, then, or 20 million quid or whatever, I think from a risk perspective, there's less risk in taking Ekitike on loan. And if it meant we could do that and then maybe put the 26 towards Mats Kielman a bit more extra money, then that to me seems better, but we'll see. Again, Dino in a high line would be best. Zuma have their place, but sadly times and just taking toll. Indeed, season not falling apart, but we just need some quality plays. You're totally right. Bubbles were replaced by Dad's Army theme tune. He's so old. There we go. Is Patman now considered injury prone? Well, it's different injuries, isn't it? Because he had the shoulder injury, and this I think he's been carrying this injury for a while, and he's been playing injured. But I don't think the club have actually. That's my own personal opinion. And then it was been a reoccurrence. But he said he said he was fit and he thought he was ready, but clearly, and sometimes it just happens, doesn't it? But I don't see it's injury prone. Moyes will throw the FA Cup and concentrate on the league. Just another good season in Europe on his CV. Hugo's a no-brainer, loan with an option to buy. Yes, indeed. So I've given him 6 out of 10. 6 out of 10. And lastly on this current list, I think, is Wilfried Gnonto, the Leeds man, a guy we've been linked with a couple of times, but apparently West Ham could make, according to hitc.com, could make a January approach for the Leeds United forward, but will face competition from the Serie A sides. He looks set to be on his way out of Leeds last summer. Everton apparently interested in him and has been promising once again for the Yorkshire outfits. He's played 20 games this season, despite playing really well. He's only scored 1 goal, 1 assist, so he's perfect for West Ham. Sources have confirmed that Yorkshire are now open with the possibility of losing him this month. Despite their firm resilience, he wasn't for sale in the summer. It's understood several Italian sides are interested in Gnonto. Roma, AC Milan, Napoli, Lazio, Atalanta declaring their interest in the forward. The deal would only be on a loan at the moment in this time, and as the Yorkshire government would be able to sell Notto, but it's unclear if they could sanction a move if it was just a loan deal. I mean, one of their willingness to go to let Notto go is they could bring back Brendan Anderson. He left, but he could come back. So he only joined Union Berlin. It was a season-long loan, so they can bring him back in. So I like Notto. I think he's. I do like him. I do like him. I liked him when he was at Leeds in the Premier League. I thought he was very direct. He was low centre of gravity. Again, it's like him on one wing on the left side and Kudus on the right. It's a pairing, in it. You won't get the ball off either. I've given him a 50-50 because there's so many. Obviously, being Italian, he might want to decide to go back to Italy. And yeah, you can blame him, really. The weather's a lot better. He's no good at diving. Notto is trouble. I think he's the best in the years. So, if all the things like to be our first signing, Notto's no better than a championship player. Off to work. -30. Wow. Jesus, mate. Jesus. There's our current list so far. 23, 6, 9, 30, 33 players currently. Yeah, it has stopped now. That's our snow ladders, right? So we're over 30 now. In terms of most likely, I would say Hugo. I really would. I would say Hugo. Yeah, I think I would. Can't see us getting any sort of in terms of the centre halves. It would be Kilman, but only if we got rid of again. I just think the time frame is so short between the Afcons and the beginning of the end of the transfer window. Just can't see it happening. So much so, just built a snow ant. There we go. Anyway, keep on the channel. We are going to talk about exits and internal promotions in West Ham. Maybe an under 21 star is possibly going to be promoted to the first team based on everyone being fucking injured at the moment. And also a bit about outs and ins and outs, digging ins and outs, all that type of stuff. I haven't put Marlon on there. I need to put Marlon on there. It's a good point, actually. He should be on that list. Dortmund will get Sancho, although would like to see him at West Ham. Yes, I think Sancho going to West Ham does open up the possibility of us going back in for Daniel Marlon as well. Malin, who I don't think, I was watching something the other day, and someone made a point about him being homegrown. I don't think he's home. I think he's only, because you have to be 3 years under the age of 21. I think he was at Arsenal for 2 years. So don't think. Thank you very, very much. Give me a like. Why not? And I'll be back a bit later on. Lots of live shows happening this week. Maybe a few new faces as well on the channel. And we'll even have a Hammers 11. We've got Dodsey on. Dodsy's going to do his My Hammers 11 this week, I think. So if anyone who watches, listens to more than just a podcast or follows Dodsey, he is everywhere. He goes through every game, bless him. And actually, he was quite hopeful of a West Ham draw yesterday, so he could go to Bristol City. It would only be half an hour down the road rather than all the way across the place. But anyway, take care. Stay safe. Stay warm. Stay humble. Keep the faith. And come on, you bloody irons. Irons!